Hey YouTube, what's happening? Chris here. Want to bring you all a little update on Litecoin. Right now we're at $56.35. We're down 1.86%. Maybe this is the start of that little pullback that we've been looking for, guys, just to cool off a little bit so that we can make further moves up. Remember, nothing can ever go up in a straight line, nothing can ever go down in a straight line. Always has to have that cool off where the RSI cools off, things just cool down before you make the next move up. And I think that's what we're kind of running into here with Litecoin. Like I've said, I'm not the guy who would be buying at these levels. I just recently at around that, I think it was 55.79. I unloaded some of them so that most likely I could buy them back at a cheaper price. That's what I'm looking for, guys, flipping coins. That's the whole point of this basically channel of mine, is to help people increase their coins or their holdings through trading as opposed to going into your bank account. And that's what I'm about, and that's what I want to help people with. And I've fallen in love with trading, and I hope you guys have as well. So if y'all could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're trying for 100 likes on this video. You guys have been doing great for me, and I'm really appreciative. And also I want to tell you that in my playlist I have all my tutorials up and ready to go. So if you guys would like to study, that's just basically straight stuff that I have read out of the book, textbook stuff that I go over, help people learn. It's helping me learn. And then also if you go into my community and you need a little motivation, guys, there's a video I put in there. It's by Les Brown, and it's You Have to Be Hungry, and it is amazing. It just relates to so many different things in life, whether it be sports or trading or family, anything like that. How you have to be hungry, you have to have a goal, you have to be determined, and you have to go after it. So if I were you, it's like a 7-minute video. I would definitely check that out. But what we're going to do with Litecoin today, we're going to get into the bullish targets. We're going to get into the bearish targets. I have a few different things, guys. I have 5 bullish things, 5 to 6 bullish things, and I have 4 bearish things to go over. We're going to talk about overhead resistance. We're going to talk about support, those type of things, and what I'm seeing. So what we're going to get into here, guys, on the bullish case so far, we're going to start down here. We're still up above this purple trend line, so that means we're still in our short-term uptrend that we've been in now for about 2 months. All right, 2-3 months, right in that range. So the next thing that we have that golden cross of our 20 EMA, that green line over our 200-day moving average in purple here. And when we had that cross, that golden cross, look what happened once that took place, guys. We had that big shot up. And we went from about $45 all the way up to at one point around $59.41. So that's a heck of a move right there, and that's from that golden cross. I promise you guys, that's how it works. And same with the death crosses. We're still up, number 3, we're still up above the 50-day moving average, which this is in blue, and it looks like we're trying to make another golden cross of this 50 over top of that 200-day moving average. That would be beautiful if we could end up getting that, but we're not through that cross yet. Yes, it looks like it, but guys, sometimes you can come up here and you can kiss off, and then you can kind of fall back down a little bit and move sideways until they attempt it again. You'll see that a lot with the MACD as well. Number 4, we're looking at higher lows on the RSI. This is what I've been paying attention to, and this has been all the way back since November 20th of 2018. See this, guys? Here's a higher low, higher low, higher low, and we've been obeying this trend line here, and this also has some of those nice gaps we were talking about. If you haven't checked out my video I did yesterday talking about the gaps and the strength of trend lines and different things like that, 4 very important things about trend lines, this was one of them. So this is a strong trend line. And what I would not be surprised is if we had this pullback back onto this line before we continue to move up higher and start challenging some of these higher RSIs. Same with this, guys. Pull back maybe onto this area here is what I'm looking for. 51.38 could be a spot. And then I would be looking down at that 20 EMA to see if we get a bounce off that. Right now we're catching a little bit of air, which means it could definitely pull back onto that. And that would be at 49.87. So maybe that $50 could be a good spot to start just slowly layering in. If you believe this is going to continue to the upside. Remember, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just a guy showing you the upside, the downside, and the sideways. That's what we do on this channel. So the next spot I would look at is this 200-day moving average, and that's going to be around $44. And that's more so what I'm looking at, guys. Personally, I feel like we could definitely test that again. Kind of test that 50 moving average, or even come down here and test this trend line again and get a very nice bounce off it so that we can continue this trend into the immediate term. You know, that's what it is, guys, or intermediate term. It's about short term, intermediate term, and then long term, when the trend reverses. And the people who can pick out the trend reversals the quickest, those are the guys who are going to profit the most. And that's what you want to do. So we're still up above that 200-day moving average. That's another thing that's bullish. But this is my area right here, guys. This is my box that I'm looking at. for a potential rebuy to go long again. And obviously, guys, what you start doing, you just start layering in. You put your smaller bids, say you even want to start them up here or at that 50. You think at 50, buy a few here, and then if it keeps coming down, buy a few more here, and your bids start getting heavier and heavier, and that's called laddering. What you want to do, you don't want to blow your whole wad, basically, your whole bank account or whatever, on one move at one spot. So say it pulled back to 44 on that 200-day moving average, and you put everything in at that spot. You don't want to be that guy. All right, so you always want to have a plan, and you want to execute your plan. Excuse me. Now on the bearish side, what we're looking at is volume. Our volume starting to tail off. You can see this volume moving average starting to go to the downside, starting to roll over a little bit. So that's something you want to pay attention to. Another thing you want to pay attention to is up on the candles here. Do you see how we kind of had those tweezer tops? We got up to around that 59.31 twice, and we could not get past it. So that's why I said maybe we need that slight pullback, power up again, and jump off that trampoline and go higher and make those higher highs, higher lows, guys. That's what it's all about when you're in that short-term uptrend, then intermediate term, then longer-term uptrend. That's what you really want to pay attention to. But you're kind of seeing those two little Christmas trees standing there, right there, and that may be a spot telling us that we saw some rejection right up around this area, and then the next spot would be around that $63, but we're seeing some rejection right now, so I wouldn't be surprised it'll pull back still even further than what we're seeing today. And we've been talking about that for a while now. And then let's see, guys, our bearish candle that we're dealing with here as well. We're going to have to wait for the close today, which is important. You always want to wait for the close, but we're going to have to kind of see what this is here. Now it's close to a shooting star candle, but there's still a thick body here. It's a thicker body. A shooting star candle right around this red line is where you'd want to see it with a longer wick, but we do have that tweezer top kind of effect right there, and then we're kind of just seeing a bearish candle today that we'll have to see what it turns into, if it turns into some type of doji or a little small hanging man, something like that, but we're going to have to keep our eye on that if we close down into the middle of this body, or if we're going to get bought back up and try to challenge this up here around that 59.31. So that's something that I'm looking for. So guys, on the support side, so now write this down, support side, first stop, we're looking at 51.69, and then I'm looking for support at 49.87. After that, I'm looking for support at $44. Then I'm looking for support at that $41. Those are my targets to the downside. Now to the upside, overhead resistance, we're looking at that 59.31, and we're looking at that 63. Those are the things that I'm paying attention to right now. And guys, I'd like to get into a lot more, but there's really not too much more. Now is just being patient and waiting to see if we're going to get that pullback or not. If we're going to continue to kind of cool everything down before we make a move further to the upside. And you also want to throw this trend line on the RSI as well. So price was moving up, but your RSI still was going down. We're almost kind of forming that symmetrical triangle in that area. But pay attention to that, guys. So to recap that, bullish, we're up above the main trend line. We had a golden cross of our 20 EMA over our 200 moving average. 3, we're up above the 50 moving average. 4, the RSI is having higher lows. Number 5, we're up above the 200 moving average. Excuse me, guys, my allergies are just terrible. We had a week where we went from 7 degrees all the way to 55 degrees in the same week. So things are just crazy right now. We got everything going on, and I'm sniffling and sneezing and all that type of stuff. I'm even trying to take Claritin D and everything, and it's just tearing us up. But that's the type of swings we can have out here in the Mideast, or the Midwest, I'm sorry. So bearish, guys, tweezer tops. 2 bearish candle forming, 3 overhead resistances at that 59.31, and then that 63, and then we had our volume, which is also bearish. So we're kind of just that mixed bag right now. It's just being patient, and remember, don't FOMO after things, guys. We talked about that when you had that push up. Don't FOMO. So check out those guys. If you could, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I really appreciate it. God bless each and every one of you.